Joining us now, the Attorneys General for Missouri and Texas. We welcome to the show Eric Schmitt and Ken Paxton. Wow, it's great to have you guys both on. Eric, first to you. Ken, I'm going to ask you the same question. The new lawsuit against the White House to force it to build a border wall. Can you talk to us about that, Eric?
Yeah, look, I mean, Joe Biden has refused to, I mean, on purpose, really, has made the southern border a total disaster. 1.7 million people coming across that we know of, another 400,000 this month. Missouri and Texas took Joe Biden to court over the Remain in Mexico policy and won at the Supreme Court, and we're going to do the same on the border wall. So we filed a lawsuit today to compel the Biden administration to actually spend the money, the $3.8 billion that's out there, for the wall. I spent time with Border Patrol agents today. There are literally materials sitting there to build this wall. They've got a temporary structure. They've got no structure at all. It's there. We need to have it built because the cartels it's big business for the cartels. They're taking advantage of folks. It's making our communities unsafe. And by the way, the human trafficking and smuggling makes its way all the way to Missouri.
Yeah.
He was just talking about the cartels having reach in Kansas City. So it's important for Missouri and Texas here to stand together. The states need to step in and make Joe Biden do his job.
And Mr. Paxton, it's violating the Constitution because the money was already appropriated by Congress, right?
Yeah, the President of the United States, his obligation is to implement federal law, not ignore it. In this case, there was an appropriation for 2 different years of over $1 billion each year. And instead of using the money the way it was intended by Congress, he just said, we're just going to waste it. We're still going to spend the money, but we're actually not going to build the wall, which is very unfortunate for us because we know that walls work. We also know that the Department of Homeland Security had determined that the walls work. And if you come down and talk to our border agents who work for the federal government, they will tell you they need these walls. They do work.
And Mr. Schmitt, you know, the White House is doing this kind of neurotic, dysfunctional thing, refusing to call it a crisis when the Attorney General testified today that criminal drug networks are flooding into U.S. cities and suburbs and rural communities with things like fentanyl, deadly fentanyl-laced fake pills, enough to kill 700,000 Americans since August is what they caught, nearly 2 million of those pills. So how is this not a humanitarian crisis for the entire country? What's going on at the border?
Well, it is, and I wish the Attorney General and the President were more concerned about securing our southern border than they were about sicking the DOJ and the FBI on parents who are objecting to critical race theory and to force masking their kids at school board meetings. But here we are. This is Joe Biden's America, but it's up to the states now. We see massive drug smuggling across the border. We see human trafficking, human smuggling across the border, and it's because Joe Biden on day one reversed all the policies that were working under President Trump. We had a secure border. We don't anymore. And again, it's up to states now to force them to do it. And we're going to win in court just like we did on the Remain in Mexico policy. Having a secure border is important for every state in the union. And there's real people being caught up in this. As I talked to Border Patrol agents today, there's a humanitarian crisis. And we need to tell Joe Biden to do his job.
Listen, everybody's pro-immigrant, right? I mean, the country is pro-immigrant. They just want it to be done fairly, and they don't want drugs pouring in to our cities, making them unrecognizable, Mr. Paxton. We're talking New York City, Los Angeles, San Francisco, Baltimore, Chicago, with shooting galleries. They're unrecognizable. And, you know, we've got border arrests hitting the highest point since 1986, right? And now we're seeing 450,000 gotaways. We thought it was 300,000.
I wish President Biden would come to the border and talk to the people on the border, Republican, Democrat, law enforcement, business people, ranch owners. They will tell you the same thing. They're scared. Their property is being damaged. They're afraid for their lives. They know there's damage coming in because there's COVID being spread around. They know about the drug trade. And of course, it's not going to stay on the border. The cartels are building a network with the help of our own government, basically, all over the country. And as these people come in, they're beholden to the cartels as the cartels send them all over the country and they keep track of them. And then down the road, they're available for other drug practices and other crimes.
And we've got the cartels increasingly shooting at U.S. border officials, Mr. Schmitt. We've got transnational gangs at the border hooking up with the likes of China supplying the ingredients for fentanyl. You know, the President and White House Press Secretary Psaki in the spring said, oh, this will be seasonal. The numbers of crossings will go down in the summer. It didn't. It ratcheted up higher. So that's a serious issue. And, you know, Latino voters, polls show, they don't like it. They don't like what's going on with the border at all. They think it's unfair and it's wrong and it's slamming their border communities and the minority communities in inner cities as well. Your final word on that.
Yeah, look, I was with the Border Patrol agents today, and they tell me all the elementary schools that are near the border go on lockdown frequently because of the unsecure border. I mean, this is about, it's taking a toll, obviously, on real human beings. We have to have a secure border. And by the way, the materials are all right there. I was walking by them today. They can literally build this wall with the money that's already been appropriated. Joe Biden is playing politics, and it's led to the biggest border crisis we've had in our nation's history.
Well, it's killing people inside the U.S. It's in killing minorities and Latinos and others in inner cities and the border regions as well. It's really exposing them to crime. Ken Paxton, your final word?
Yeah, I think you're right about that. And I don't even think we can measure how many people are going to die because of this, because COVID is being spread all over our country because they secretly are sending people all over the country with COVID, without being vaccinated, without being tested. On top of that, the drug trade, we know that fentanyl kills. And so down the road, who knows what the damage is going to be done, but the administration is willing to sacrifice Americans for more immigrants coming into the country illegally.
Attorneys General Eric Schmitt and Ken Paxton, thank you so much for joining us. Come back soon.